It seems that Isran is waiting for us. Let's hope that he is in good mood.
Good mood, Isran. Those words don't belong in the same sentence. The man practically bathes in vampire hatred. But yes, let's hope he's had his morning meat and is feeling particularly generous toward the vampire daughter of a sworn enemy. I'm sure he'll welcome us with open arms, or more likely, a loaded crossbow. Stay alert, darling.
Yeah, of course, darling. Stay close.
I'll stay close, not because you asked so sweetly, but because I'd rather not be the lone vampire wandering around a fortress full of people who've dedicated their lives to killing my kind. Besides, someone needs to keep you from getting distracted by every interesting sight along the way.
The bow. You have Auriel's bow. I've heard it described in tales, but I could never have imagined its beauty. Indeed, the day hasn't been won while Harkon still walks Tamriel. But what of Serana? Can she be trusted to lift a blade against her own kind, her own family? I suppose that's as much as I can hope for. Let me address the Dawnguard and then we'll be off. The men deserve to know that we finally gained the upper hand.
Everyone, gather round. Come on then. We haven't got all
Seems that Isran will help us, and he is gathering his men.
Well, that was surprisingly painless. I was expecting at least one crossbow bolt in my direction. So, Isran trusts me to kill my own father now. How heartwarming. Though, I noticed he didn't actually wait for my answer before running off to rally his troops. Typical. At least we have the Dawnguard's support now, for whatever that's worth.
For too long, we've allowed these vampires to poison the night and kill our people. Now, we finally have the means to strike back. We now have Auriel's bow. The gods themselves have favored us, and we must answer with action. The time has come to finally put an end to Harkon and his unholy prophecy. We will march on their lair and destroy those wretched abominations so they can no longer corrupt our world. This is our fight, and this is our fate. This is the time of the Dawnguard!
Give him a crossbow bolt between the eyes for me! Send the troll after them.
It's time we take the fight to their door. Gather your things and rest well, my friend. We meet outside Castle Volkihar.
It seems that Isran and his party is eager to fight, and we will meet with them in Castle Volkihar's door, literally, as he said.
So, we're off to kill my father with a band of vampire hunters who, until 5 minutes ago, would have happily put a bolt through my heart. Lovely family reunion ahead. And did you catch Isran's little speech? Wretched abominations and corrupt our world. While I'm standing right here. At least he's consistent. I suppose I should be grateful he didn't include me in the Leave No Vampire in One Piece directive. Are you ready for this, John? Because once we step into that castle, there's no turning back.
You probably would avoid to be present in fighting and killing your father, I guess.
Present for killing my father. Of course I'll be there. I've only spent centuries dealing with his madness, watched him destroy our family, and helped track down Auriel's bow specifically to stop him. Why would I skip the finale? This isn't just your story, John. It's mine too. My father stopped being my father long ago. He's a monster now, consumed by prophecy and power. And, while I won't celebrate his death, I won't hide from it either. Some responsibilities you can't shoot arrows at from a safe distance.
If it's what you would like to do, let's do it together.
My opinion about killing my father. I've only been helping you gather ancient artifacts, decipher prophecies, and track down Auriel's bow specifically for that purpose. But sure, let's pretend this is a sudden revelation. Look, I don't relish the thought of killing my own father. But that man died centuries ago. What's left is a power-hungry tyrant willing to doom the world for his ambition. So yes, I'll be there when we face him. This isn't just your quest, John. It's my family's legacy I'm trying to correct. Some messes you can't just walk away from, no matter how tempting.
Of course. Your call. Let's face him together, as you said.
Together, yes. Though I suspect you'll find a way to maintain a comfortable distance when the arrows start flying. But that's fine. I've had centuries to prepare for this confrontation. My father made his choice long ago when he chose prophecy over family. Now I'm making mine. Just try not to get distracted by any shiny objects or cosmic visions when we're in the middle of the fight, will you?
You know, darling, I have in my hand Auriel's bow, so I probably will keep distance and fight with that weapon against all undead. You included, you excluded by your side. So I won't have the time to focus on shiny objects, only on our enemies.
Yes, Auriel's bow. The legendary weapon we spent months tracking down specifically for this confrontation. I'm aware of its existence, considering I was there for every step of that little scavenger hunt. And I don't expect you to be in the thick of battle. That's never been your style. You stay back with your fancy bow. I'll handle the close combat. Just make sure those Sunhallowed Arrows find my father and not me.
Don't worry, I don't plan to kill you with that bow. Anyway, I'm not able to kill someone like you.
Though, I notice your aim with that bow tends to improve dramatically when there's something valuable to collect afterward. Just make sure your arrows find their mark when it matters. My father won't go down easily. He's had centuries to prepare. And, despite everything he's become, he was once... No, never mind. Let's just focus on ending this, for everyone's sake.
Here we are, darling. Final hour of our fighting against your father.
Castle Volkihar. Home sweet home. Or at least it was, before father decided to sacrifice everything for his precious prophecy. The stones still remember me, even if the inhabitants would rather see me dead. Funny how things turn out, isn't it? Coming back with Auriel's bow to kill the men who once read me bedtime stories. Though, I suppose those stories were mostly about blood and conquest. Not exactly standard parental material. Ready to end this, John? Let's make sure the sun rises tomorrow.
Alright, let's end this together. I will go first this time.
You going first? Well, this is certainly a day for surprises. First cosmic prophecies about my replacement. Now you're volunteering to lead the charge. The world truly is ending. Just remember, my father is no draw for bandage. He's ancient, powerful, and completely obsessed.
Who's that?
That would be
Yes! Serana, come here, darling. We are almost near gate of the castle.
coming. Though I'm surprised you didn't just shoot an arrow with a note attached from a safe distance. Look at all this chaos. Dawnguard, vampires, even that poor dog. All because my father couldn't accept his own mortality. The irony of immortals obsessed with power is they never learn when to let go. Ready to face him? He'll try to manipulate you, appeal to your ambition. Don't listen. He offered that same poison to everyone who ever trusted him.
Darling, your father seems to be behind these doors. I mean, in his sanctuary.
Yes, his inner sanctum. He'll be waiting for us there. This is where he performs his darkest rituals. I never thought I'd return to face him like this. The man who sacrificed our family for power will finally answer for it. The bow you carry, Auriel's bow, it's his greatest fear. Are you ready? Once we go through those doors, there's no turning back. He won't surrender, John. Not even to his own daughter.
Yeah, I know. There is no turn back, as we discussed.
You know, when I was sealed away with the Elder Scroll, I never imagined I'd return to end my father's life. But he stopped being my father long ago, when he chose prophecy over family. When we walked through those doors, we faced not Lord Harkon of Volkihar, but a monster wearing his skin. Let's finish what my mother started and end this madness, together.
Serana, my daughter, I see you still favor keeping the pets.
You know why we're here.
Of course I do. You disappoint me, Serana. You've taken everything I provided for you and thrown it all away for this pathetic being.
Provided for me? Are you insane? You've destroyed our family. You've killed other vampires, all over some prophecy that we barely understand. No more. I'm done with you. You will not touch him.
So, I see this dragon has fangs. Your voice drips with the venom of your mother's influence. How alike you've become.
No. Because unlike her, I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore.
And you. It appears I have you to thank for turning my daughter against me. I knew it was only a matter of time before she'd return with hatred in her heart. A small price to pay for the betterment of our kind. Yes, yes, always the noble vampire hunter. And what happens when you've slain me? Is Valerica next? Is Serana? Then my daughter is truly lost. She died the moment she accepted a mortal into her life. Yes, quite. I'm growing weary of speaking to you and my traitorous daughter. I'll give you a single chance to turn over the bow to me. There will not be a second.
Very well then, you leave me no choice.
It's not working.
is finally gone. My father, no, the monster he became, is dead. I should feel something more, but I'm just empty. All those years, all that hatred, for what? A prophecy that would have doomed us all. Thank you for standing with me, John. I couldn't have faced him alone. Not like this.
Of course, if you've got any more adventures planned. That's what I wanted to hear. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, we killed him together. It's over.
He's dead, and the prophecy dies with him.
So, it's finally done. My father's menace ends here. I spent so long running from him, fighting against what he became. Now, I'm just free. It's strange, isn't it? When you've been defined by something for so long, and suddenly it's gone. But I meant what I said. I'd like to keep traveling with you. There's a whole world out there I barely know anymore. And honestly, you're the first real friend I've had in centuries. Where should we go next?
Yeah, let us speak with Isran first before we will decide what next.
Yes, we should check in with the Dawnguard first. They'll want to hear that the vampire threat, my father, is dead. After that, well, I'm sure there's no shortage of ancient evils or forgotten treasures waiting for us across Skyrim. I'm just glad I don't have to face them alone anymore.
So, Isran, we finished that together. As you see, Serana was trustworthy and decided to kill her father and help us.
Yes, Isran, I chose to stand against my own blood to protect Skyrim from my father's madness. Not all vampires are mindless monsters obsessed with domination. Some of us just want to exist without being hunted, or watching the world burn. I hope this proves my loyalty, though I don't expect a warm welcome at Fort Dawnguard anytime soon.
What are your next plans?
I'd be curious to hear that myself. Will the mighty Dawnguard disband now that the vampire menace is defeated? Or perhaps they'll find some other creatures to hunt. Werewolves, perhaps, or maybe reformed vampires like me? Though I suspect Isran might need to find a new purpose. Hunting vampires has been his entire life for so long. It's never easy when your reason for existing suddenly ends.
I never consider you as a guy for resting or building your home or raising a family, I mean children. You know, Isran, I didn't expect that you have some retirement plans, other than some other duty and other plans for keeping Skyrim safe.
Family, children. You think a man who spent decades hunting monsters has time for a wife and little ones. My duty is my life. The Dawnguard are my family. Though I suppose, after all this blood and death, maybe it's time to consider what comes after the war.
Yeah, you are right, but it's good to know that we have such a great ally, if of course we could consider ourselves as allies to each other. You could always count on us if you will have something which you would need help with.
Allies, yes. You've proven yourself today, John. And Serana. I'll admit, you chose your path with honor. If threats arise that require our combined strength, the Dawnguard will answer. Just don't expect me to go easy on any vampires we encounter who aren't as reformed.
Yeah, you are right. It's hard to judge which vampires are threat and which could be possible allies, but now you see that not every vampire is only enemy. There are exceptions among them.
One exception doesn't change centuries of bloodshed. But, you're right. Serana proved there's more to some of them than hunger and cruelty. I'll keep that in mind. Still doesn't mean I'll trust easily.
Yeah, of course. I will be glad when we met again, but as Serana said, we probably will have some traveling, so we won't be reachable. So keep yourself safe, Isran, until we met again.
Safe travels, Jan. May Stendar watch over you both. When you return, there'll always be a place at Fort Dawnguard for those who stand against the darkness. Until we meet again.
Serana, before we leave for our traveling journey, is there anything else what would you like to tell Isran as a goodbye?
Isran, I know we started as enemies, but I respect what you stand for. Protecting the innocent. I won't pretend we'll ever be friends, but perhaps allies. I hope you remember not all monsters are created equal. Some of us fight our nature every day. And if you ever need someone who understands how vampires think, well, you know where to find me. Try not to stake too many of my kind without asking questions first.
Yeah, Serana is bold in her speech, I guess.
It's Serana, not Sarana, not Serena. Serana. Honestly, John, we've been traveling together for how long now? And you still can't get my name right. I faced down death lords, dragons, and my own father. But apparently my name is the most difficult opponent you've ever encountered. Maybe I should just start calling you Jim and see how you like it.
You know, darling, you should focus on conversation with Isran. You know my difficulties very well. Let's save this for our private conversation, shall we?
Darling, is it? Well, that's new, and surprisingly effective at diffusing my irritation. Fine, you win this round. Though, I'm not sure what private conversation you think we need to have about your pronunciation difficulties. But you're right. This isn't the time or place. Farewell, Isran. Try not to miss hunting us too much.
Yeah, farewell, Isran. It was a pleasure to work with you. I hope that you will find a peace one day, somehow.
Peace for Isran. I think he'd shrivel up and blow away without some monster to hunt. But who knows? Maybe he'll find a nice retired werewolf to settle down with. Now, about this darling business. That's quite the promotion from Serana or Serena. I could get used to it, though I'm still holding the right to call you Jim when the mood strikes. So, where to next? The world is ours now that my father's gone.
Let me first loot this place.
Yes, the traditional post-victory looting spree. Nothing says we just saved Skyrim from eternal darkness quite like rifling through a dead vampire lord's pockets for spare change and magical trinkets. Though I must say, Harkon's sword and that royal armor might actually be worth the effort this time.
Oh, absolutely. The ancestral sword of my murderous father who just tried to kill us both. Definitely worth picking up. Maybe you can add it to your collection of trophies from people who wanted me dead. Though, I'm curious what you plan to do with his rings and armor. Going for the vampire lord fashion look now, darling. Or just can't resist anything shiny.
The rings could be used to someone who used destruction magic, yeah, like you, or other members of our group. For example, my sister or Lily are destruction magicians as well.
Yes, because nothing says remembering my dead father like handing out his magical jewelry to your collection of destruction mages. Though I suppose it's better than letting his power go to waste. And yes, conjuration would let you summon allies. Something you might consider when you're hanging back with that bow of yours while the rest of us are knee-deep in enemies. But I'm not bitter about that, darling. Not at all.
And what will be with this place? Who will be here? I mean, It was your home. What do you mean that we should do with the castle? And what about your mother, Valerica?
The castle. I suppose it's mine now, isn't it? Strange to think about. This place has been both prison and home to me for longer than most civilizations have existed. As for my mother, she's still in the Soul Cairn as far as I know. We should find a way to bring her back. Tell her what happened. She deserves to know her centuries of hiding weren't in vain. Maybe she'd want to reclaim this place, restore it to something less monstrous. Or maybe we just lock the doors and leave it to rot. I'm not sure I want the responsibility of a vampire castle. Too many bad memories here, darling.
We could leave this place. We have a lot of other places where we could spend our time, or traveling around the whole Skyrim with our group of adventurers.
So, we've defeated my father, saved Skyrim from eternal darkness, and now we're just standing here in this gloomy castle. I suppose we should decide where to go next. We could visit my mother in the Soul Cairn, tell her what happened, or maybe head somewhere completely different. Somewhere with fewer family complications than blood fountains. Somewhere with actual sunlight. Perhaps, though, I'll need my hood. What do you think, darling? Any particular evil you're keen on vanquishing next?
You know, I still have to find my destiny as a Dragonborn. There is a lot of things to do to stop dragons from destroying Skyrim.
Yes, the small matter of being Dragonborn. I almost forgot about that with all the vampire lords and prophecies we've been dealing with. Dragons destroying Skyrim does sound like something we should probably address. Though I have to say, darling, you do collect world-ending threats like some people collect butterflies. First, my father's prophecy. No dragons. What's next? Ancient Dwemer machines? Daedric invasions? At least life with you is never dull.
You know, darling, I'm a little pity for those who served your father, that we had to kill them. If I, for example, join vampires and your father's court, they probably won't be our enemies, but allies instead. And now they are all dead. All people you knew for centuries, lying on the ground, dead here.
You know what's strange, darling? I don't feel nearly as much pity for them as you seem to. They chose to follow my father knowing exactly what he was. They weren't innocent victims. They were willing participants in centuries of cruelty and bloodshed. And, trust me, if you joined them, they would have used you until you were no longer useful, then drained you dry. That's how it worked in our happy little vampire family. Though, I do appreciate the sentiment. It's oddly touching that you'd spare a thought for monsters who would have killed you without hesitation. Perhaps that's why I find you so intriguing.
Yeah, perhaps that is why we are so close to each other. Because you are different from those monsters, as you call them, but maybe not everyone was a monster, but you are right, they decided to follow your father instead to stand against him. But you know, it doesn't matter, what is done is done. Let's check this place and find if there isn't anything valuable.
Yes, let's rifle through my family's possessions before we tell my mother her husband is dead. Very tactful, darling. Though, I suppose there might be something useful hidden away. My father was nothing if not a collector of dangerous artifacts. And you're right about one thing. I am different from the others. I chose to stand against my own blood rather than watch the world burn. Not exactly the easiest choice I've ever made. But having you by my side made it bearable. Now, shall we start with the library? Father always kept his most valuable treasures close to his books. A locked
Look,
display case. That's
that was
promising.
diamond.
My father never locked away anything that wasn't valuable or dangerous. Usually both. A diamond? How exciting. Father always did have expensive taste. Though, I suppose when you're thousands of years old, you need something shiny to break up the monotony. Add it to your growing collection of treasures, darling. Maybe someday you can fashion it into something useful. Like a ring that helps you pronounce names correctly. I'm kidding. Mostly.
You know, darling, or maybe we could leave here. I mean, call that our home. It's such big, and there is so many places where we could store our valuables. Don't you think? But I understand that your memories are painful to live in such place.
Life here, in this mausoleum. I appreciate the offer, darling. But I've spent enough centuries surrounded by these walls to last several lifetimes. Besides, can you imagine the cleaning? Blood fountains require constant maintenance, and the thralls leave such a mess. Though, I suppose we could redecorate. Replace the torture chambers with something more homey. A library, perhaps. Still, I'd rather sleep under the stars with you than in this tomb of memories, even with all its spacious storage potential.
Yeah, you are right. I am Archmage of Winterhold College, right? And I have Archmage chambers which are much bigger as any room of this castle anyway, and we don't need the whole castle, we just need only one big room for ourselves.
Ah yes, the Archmage's quarters, where you keep all those books you never read and potions you never use. At least it doesn't have blood fountains, though your decorating skills leave much to be desired. Still, I suppose it's better than this monument of vampire excess. And you're right, we don't need much space. Just enough room for your ego and my sarcasm to coexist without constant collision. Though I do appreciate that you're already planning our living arrangements, darling. Rather presumptuous of you, isn't it? Not that I mind much.
There doesn't seem to be anything interesting in that library, and those display cases below here in this storage room are all empty anyway, so
Look
we
who
should
it
go.
is. One of the few survivors of Castle Volkihar's little regime change. I ask how you're feeling about my father's demise, but I imagine that depends entirely on where you stood in his favor. Were you one of his devoted followers, or just another pawn in his grand delusion? Either way, the blood fountains have run dry, and here we are, awkwardly sharing the aftermath. Did you have plans for after the apocalypse failed to happen, or is this all rather inconvenient for your calendar?
Oh look, it's Vampire Family Drama Hour. Me, I wasn't on Team Harkon's Eternal Darkness extravaganza. Just tagging along with the boss for the inevitable fiery finale. And wow, was it a showstopper? Father-daughter conflicts usually end with door slamming, not castle-wide vampire slaughter. As for my post-apocalypse plans, I was thinking brunch, maybe redecorate this place. Few blood fountains, more throw pillows. The whole blot out the sun aesthetic is so last era.
Brunch and throw pillows. How delightfully domestic for someone who just witnessed patricide. Though I suppose Team Eternal Darkness extravaganza did need better branding. Father was many things, but interior decorator wasn't one of them. And yes, most family disagreements don't end in castle-wide slaughter. But then again, most families don't spend centuries plotting world domination. We Volkihars have always been overachievers in the dysfunction department. Tell me, were you a jump before all this? Or did he collect you along the way like one of his many shiny trinkets?
Patricide viewing party? Just another Tuesday in Skyrim. And yes, the decor here screams evil overlord with no Pinterest to count. As for being one of the Archmage's shiny trinkets, excuse you, I'm the college's master wizard, his right hand, his personal chaos coordinator. I've been keeping his schedule and setting things on fire for him since before this whole vampire prophecy business. Though I must say your family drama makes college politics look positively boring. At least our meetings don't end with someone getting staked, usually.
Master Wizard, well, that explains the superiority complex. I've met enough mages to recognize the type. Personal chaos coordinator. That's certainly one way to describe babysitting our dear Archmage. And yes, college politics do sound positively mundane compared to vampire court intrigue. Our meetings typically ended with someone getting drained. not just staked. Though, I'm curious, as his right hand, what exactly do you think of John's unique approach to heroism? The man collects dangerous artifacts and powerful women with equal enthusiasm. Not that I'm judging, much.
Superiority complex, says the ancient vampire princess. And babysitting is such a boring wood. I prefer strategic chaos management. As for his unique approach to heroism, the man does have a talent for finding the most dramatic solution to any problem. And yes, his collection of powerful women is getting rather impressive. You me probably have a Skyrim at this point, but hey, at least he has good taste. Though I have to wonder, between the ancient vampire and the chaos mage, which of us is the more questionable life choice? Care to place a bet on which artifact will try to kill us next?
Darling, where are you? I found something extraordinary in this master-locked case.
Ancient vampire princess versus chaos mage. That's like asking which is more dangerous. Fire or ice. Both burn in their own way. Though, I'd argue my questionable life choices are at least tempered by a few centuries of perspective. As for John's next deadly artifact, I'm betting on something Dwemer. Those dwarves never built anything that didn't try to kill someone eventually. Though, I must admit, strategic chaos management does sound more impressive than keeping the archmage from accidentally setting himself on fire. Tell me, does he mispronounce your name too? Or am I special in that regard?
Oh, Dwemer artifacts are definitely on my apocalypse bingo card. And yes, the boss does have a special talent for name mangling. He called me Lilanya for 3 weeks straight, then Lily something for another month. I just answer to anything that starts with an L sound now. It's actually become a college drinking game. One shot every time he gets it wrong. As for keeping him from setting himself on fire, that's only half my job. The other half is deciding what we should set on fire. And between you and me, Vampire Princess, I think our dear Archmage collects us because we're the only ones who can keep up with his particular brand of heroic chaos.
Yeah, did you hear me, darling? I found something extraordinary locked under master lock display case.
A master lock display case. Well, aren't you the persistent treasure hunter? Let me guess. Inside was either something absurdly valuable or dangerously cursed. With your luck, probably both. What extraordinary find did you uncover this time, darling? Another staff, a magical ring, or perhaps just another one of my father's pretentious vampire trinkets? Do share the details. I'm dying to know what was worth picking yet another lock while standing in a castle full of dead vampires.
It was some kind of vampiric ring. I gave it to your inventory for evaluation. Check it. You have it right now in your inventory. It's quite valuable, but I don't understand what the receiver will obtain as advantage from that ring.
Yes, the Vampiric ring. I was wondering what this little trinket was doing nestled between my arrows and potions. Quite the family heirloom you've handed me. From what I can tell, it enhances blood magic, makes feeding more efficient, and strengthens certain vampire abilities. Probably belonged to one of Father's court favorites. Not particularly useful to you unless you're planning a career change into vampirism. Should I keep it as a souvenir of our little family reunion? Or were you hoping to sell it to some collector with questionable taste?
Yeah, I think that if it is only mentioned for vampires, just keep it. It's your anyway, as your family heirloom, as you put it.
How generous of you to gift me my own family's possessions. Next, you'll be handing me the deed to the castle. Here, Serana, I found this dusty old throne. Thought you might want it back. But yes, I'll keep the ring. Might come in handy if we encounter more of my father's former court. Though, I notice you've developed quite the habit of collecting vampire artifacts. First my Elder Scroll, now this ring. Should I be concerned about your growing fascination with vampire relics, darling? Or is this just your way of giving me jewelry without actually having to shop for it? Another locked display case. You're certainly throwing your plundering, aren't you? What treasures of my ancestral home have you liberated this time? Another magical trinket, ancient scroll, perhaps a diary detailing my father's descent into madness. Do tell, darling. I'm absolutely dying to know what family heirlooms you're adding to your collection now. Another scroll of invisibility. How utterly shocking. Father always did have a flair for the dramatic. Vanishing in the middle of arguments was practically his specialty. At this rate, you'll have emptied every display case in the castle before nightfall. Should I start a tally of how many locks you've picked? Or shall we just assume all of them? Though, I must admit, your persistence is almost admirable. Most people would have stopped after the first dozen vampire trinkets.
Huh? It not need to be unlocked. It seems that it should be taken away without unlocking. Huh?
Weak burn poison. How terribly exciting. I can hardly contain my enthusiasm. Father's taste in poisons was as uninspired as his taste in decor. Though I suppose if you're collecting every bottle, scroll, and trinket in the castle, you'll need that burn poison yourself soon. Your pockets must be absolutely bursting by now. Are you planning to open a shop? John slightly used vampire artifacts, has a certain ring to it, don't you think?
Yeah, I think that VR definitely isn't perfect for stealing from display cases which seems to be locked.
Is stealing from display cases ever perfect? Though I suppose it's not technically stealing when the owner is dead, by your hand, after trying to destroy the sun. I call it aggressive inheritance. You've certainly mastered the art of liberating locked treasures. First the Thalmor Embassy, now my father's castle. At least this time you're not collecting wine bottles while we're trying to escape. Progress, darling. Though, I wonder what the next unfortunate location with display cases will be. Dragon Priest Tombs, Dwemer Ruins, the Jarl's bedroom. Another potion of blood. Father certainly kept a well-stocked pantry. And quite the impressive poison collection too. Fear, paralysis, calm. He was prepared for every social occasion. Don't like your dinner guest. Paralyze them. Afraid of awkward conversation. Fear poison. Though, I must say, finding actual blood potions in a vampire castle is about as surprising as finding cheese in a tavern. What fascinating treasures did this latest display case yield, darling? More scrolls. Perhaps a dusty diary detailing is how I almost blocked out the Sun Manifesto.
No, only some trinkets, nothing such valuable like that vampiric ring we found already.
Just trinkets. How disappointing. And here I thought we might find the crown jewels of the Volkihar dynasty. Though I suppose silver and emeralds are a step up from blood potions and weak poisons. I'm starting to think my father spent more time collecting baubles than actually plotting world domination. No wonder his evil plan failed. Too busy arranging display cases. At least that vampiric ring has some actual use. Should I be concerned that you're amassing quite the collection of vampire artifacts, darling? First my Elder Scroll, now my family jewelry. Next you'll be asking for a vial of my blood for your collection.
And Serana, there seems to be Bloodstone Chalice. Is it valuable somehow, or what is the purpose of this artifact?
The Bloodstone Chalice. Oh, just a minor family heirloom that lets you perform a ritual to enhance your vampiric powers. Father was obsessed with it. You fill it with blood from a special source, add a few ingredients, say the magic words, and voila. Instant vampire power boost. Though I should warn you, darling, it only works for vampires. And yes, it's valuable, both in gold and in power. Though I'm surprised you're asking about it rather than already stuffing it into your apparently bottomless pockets along with everything else in this castle. Planning to add vampire power broker to your list of titles alongside Dragonborn and professional display case picker.
No, I only want to be sure if you want that chalice, if I should take it and give it to you, to your inventory, as your family heirloom.
The Bloodstone Chalice, as a family heirloom. How thoughtful of you to ask before pilfering it. Though I must say, your sudden concern for my inheritance rights is touching, especially after you've already claimed half the castle's contents. But no, darling, I have no particular attachment to that cursed cup. Father used it in rituals to strengthen his court vampires. Hardly sentimental value there. Though I do appreciate the irony of you breaking other people's family heirlooms in Riffin while offering to preserve mine. Character growth, perhaps. Take it if you want. Sell it, display it in your home. Use it as a fancy wine goblet. Just don't expect any vampire powers from it unless you're planning a career change.
You know, if it is such powerful, maybe we should take it with us to prevent that chalice won't get to wrong hand. Don't you agree, darling?
Yes, preventing powerful artifacts from falling into the wrong hands. Your specialty, isn't it? Right up there with collecting wedding attire for special occasions. How noble of you to want to protect the realm from my father's magical chalice. I'm sure it has nothing to do with adding another dangerous relic to your ever-growing collection. But you're right, darling. We should take it. After all, between the vampire princess and the dragonborn who collects magical artifacts like some collects sweet rolls, we're clearly the most responsible custodians. Just don't use it as a wine glass at our hypothetical wedding,
Here we are, darling, back in our favorite vacation spot.
The Soul Cairn, where the ambience is dead, the residents are dead, and the conversation is, well, you get the idea. Our favorite vacation spot, right up there with haunted crypts and dragon lairs. Though, I must say, after spending quality time in my father's castle of horrors, even this endless purple wasteland has a certain charm. At least the souls here are honest about their misery. So, darling, what's our itinerary for this delightful return visit? More soul gem hunting, another chat with my mother, or just a leisurely stroll through the realm of eternal damnation?
Of course, we are here to find your mother and tell her about situation with that we stopped your father's plan from bloating the sun.
Yes, informing Mother that we've thwarted Father's grand blot out the sun scheme. I'm sure she'll be thrilled, or as thrilled as anyone can be in this realm of eternal misery. Though I must say, between your Thieves' Guild obligations, debts to Daedric princes, and whatever that horn business with the Greybeards was about, I'm surprised you remembered our little vampire family drama. How considerate of you to make time in your busy schedule of collecting brides and picking locks. Lead on, darling. Mother's probably wondering what took us so long, or she's forgotten we exist entirely. I'm works differently here, after all.
Yeah. Now that we've... well, dealt with my father, I think that it's safe for my mother to return to our world. We have to go to the Soul Cairn and tell her. She doesn't have a way of knowing what's going on out here. Besides, who knows what the Ideal Masters will do to her this time if we don't get her out of there soon.
Serana, what happened? I don't recognize you.
What happened? You called me by my actual name for once and the shock nearly killed me. Though you still managed to mispronounce it somehow. It's Serana, not Serana. After all this time, I was beginning to think Serana was some pet name you invented. But yes, it's still me. Same vampire, same sarcasm, same endless patience for your creative interpretations of my name. I haven't changed, darling. Though I appreciate your concern that correctly pronouncing my name might have transformed me into someone else entirely.
Wait, could you explain what kind of transform and what kind of other things you mentioned? You spoke quite fast for me.
I didn't say I transformed into anything, John. I was being sarcastic about you finally getting close to my name after all this time. It's still Serana, not Serana. We've had this conversation in Valerica, again in Riffin, and once more in Asgramerston. You can pronounce Clavicus Valmaibel perfectly. Yet somehow my name continues to elude you. It's almost impressive how consistent you are with this particular inconsistency. But please, don't let my eternal frustration with your selective pronunciation difficulties distract us from finding my mother.
Yeah, but your voice and your appearance changed if you don't see that as me, as I do. And yeah, maybe you could still same Serana, but you look like someone else.
My voice and appearance changed? I assure you, I'm the same Serana I've always been. Sarcastic, undead, and perpetually exasperated by your pronunciation skills. Perhaps it's the Soul Cairn playing tricks on your perception. This place has a way of distorting reality. Or maybe you're just tired from all that lockpicking and treasure hunting back at the castle. Whatever you're seeing or hearing differently about me, I promise it's still me. Unless... wait, are you trying to tell me you've somehow summoned yet another companion who looks like me? Because that would be a new level of concerning even for you.
Yeah, you look like different, I could say. You look like some younger elven woman with long ears and white hair. Of course, still vampire, but and your voice is also different.
I look like a what? An elephant woman with long ears? John, I think the Soul Cairn is affecting your mind. And the same Nord vampire I've always been. Not white-haired, not long-eared, and certainly not an elephant woman. Whatever that means. Though I suppose this explains why you've been acting strangely. You're clearly seeing someone else entirely. Perhaps you're confusing me with that elder woman, Lizarint, the one with the long hair you recruited in Solitude. Though I don't recall her having particularly long ears or being an elephant. Whatever that is.
Not elephant, I called elven like elvish, that Ortmer are elves, wood elves, other elves, not elephant.
Elven, Altmer, oh for the love of... John, I'm a Nord vampire. Always have been. I don't have long ears, white hair, or any elven features whatsoever. I'm beginning to think the Soul Cairn is affecting your mind more than usual. Or perhaps this is another creative way to avoid pronouncing my name correctly. For Serana, now elven woman. Your pronunciation issues seem to be expanding to my entire species now. Should I start calling you Imperial or Argonian just to keep things interesting?
Alright, let's Maybe I hallucinate now and see someone else entirely, but you are still same person. Under surface, it seems that you react same way, even if your voice seems to be sounds different.
So I'm still the same person under the surface despite apparently transforming into some white-haired elven woman. How reassuring. Perhaps the soul cairn is affecting your perception. Or maybe this is just the natural evolution of your inability to get my name right. First you couldn't pronounce Serana. Now you can't even recognize my species. At this rate, by tomorrow you'll be convinced I'm a talking worker. Let's just find my mother before you start hallucinating that I've grown wings and a tail.
Alright then, I am glad that you feel alright. Let's find your mother, she seems to be close.
Yes, let's find my mother, assuming you'll recognize her when we see her. With your current state of hallucination, you might mistake her for a frost troll or a talking sweet troll. Though I suppose your consistent inability to see me properly is almost impressive in its own way. At least you remembered I have a mother, which is progress. She should be in her usual laboratory area, if the Ideal Masters haven't decided to redecorate since our last visit. Just try not to tell her I've transformed into an elven woman with white hair, would you? Family reunions are awkward enough without identity crises.
Yeah, but you told me that you don't have any identity crisis. That it's my hallucination to see you elsewhere, not that you personally see yourself changed anyhow.
Yes, John, that's exactly what I've been saying. The problem is with your perception, not my actual appearance. I haven't changed at all. You're the one seeing something different. This reminds me of that strange incident in Fort Dawnguard when you couldn't hear me despite me answering you repeatedly. The soul cairn has strange effects on the living. Or maybe it's just your unique talent for communication difficulties. Either way, I'm still the same vampire Nord I've always been, regardless of whatever elven features you think you're seeing.
Alright. So under the surface you are still same Serana, darling, my darling. Is it so?
Yes, John. Under the surface I'm still the same Serana. You darling, as we agreed to use since you find my actual name so impossibly challenging. Though I must say, it's rather impressive how you can master dragon shouts that reshape reality, yet those 4 simple syllables, Serana, continue to elude you. Perhaps we should have the Greybeards teach you a special theme just for pronouncing my name correctly. But yes, whatever elven apparition you think you're seeing, rest assured it's still me underneath. Same sarcasm, same vampire, same endless patience for your unique perception of reality.
Yeah, and same love for me as well, I guess. Alright then, I'm glad that you are still here.
Same love for you. Well, that's quite the assumption. Though I suppose after sharing dragon fights, ancient ruins, and yes, even a bed, there must be some form of attachment there. Despite your creative interpretations of my name and now apparently my entire physical form, it's almost endearing how consistently inconsistent you are. But yes, I'm still here. Where else would I be? Someone needs to keep you from hallucinating your entire adventuring party into different species. Now, shall we find my mother before you start seeing her as a talking mudcrab?
Alright, darling, here she is, doing something on her alchemy table, I guess.
Yes, that's my mother at her alchemy table, ever the dedicated researcher, even in the realm of eternal damnation. I'm sure she'll be thrilled to see us, or at least as thrilled as anyone can be in this dreary purple wasteland. Though I must warn you, if you're seeing me as some white-haired elven woman, who knows what you'll perceive my mother as? A frost troll, a talking sweet troll, maybe even a hagraven bride. Let's just hope your hallucinations don't extend to mistaking her for another potential spouse in your ever-growing collection.
your potential. You mean my potential spouse. You mean that you will see you as my potential spouse, but not as her daughter, but as someone else.
Oh, I see the confusion now. You're not just hallucinating my appearance. You're hallucinating our entire relationship. No, John, I wasn't suggesting you'd see my mother as a potential spouse. I was suggesting you might mistake her for one, given your impressive collection of actual and attempted brides, from hagravens to farmers' daughters to vampire princesses. Your engagement history is more complicated than the Elder Scrolls themselves. But please, by all means, let's go speak with my mother. Just try to remember she's my mother and not another candidate for your growing hair, regardless of whatever form your soul can adult mind perceives her in.
Yeah, but you said your mother is now widow, right? So she is marriageable according that philosophy.
My mother is a widow, not video. And just because she's no longer married doesn't mean she's available for your collection, John. She spent centuries trapped in the soul can to escape my father's madness. I doubt she is eager to jump into another relationship, especially with someone who hallucinates people as different species. Besides, shouldn't you focus on resolving your existing romantic entanglements before adding my mother to the list? Between your hagraven bride, the us older woman, and whatever you've implied about me being your darling, I think your dance card is quite full.
What? Are you certain? Then I see nothing preventing my return to Tamriel. Allow me to gather some of my things, and I'll head back to Castle Volkihar. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you.
Yeah, she seems to be satisfied with that information about Harkon's death.
Satisfied? That's an interesting choice of words. My husband's death brings relief, yes, but satisfaction feels too simple for centuries of torment ended. Still, I am grateful beyond measure for what you've done. Mother, don't look so surprised. John has a unique way with words and perceptions. He's currently seen me as some white-haired elven woman, so satisfied he's actually quite eloquent by his standards. But yes, father is dead. It's strange, isn't it? After everything he put us through, his end came so quickly. I'm not sure what I feel either. Relief, closure, or just emptiness where hatred used to be. Either way, we're free now. Both of us. My dear daughter, freedom is a strange gift after so long in chains, isn't it? That emptiness you feel, it will pass. We've both carried his shadow for too long. Now we must learn to walk in sunlight again, metaphorically speaking.
Alright, let's hope that you will find your other path after Harkon's death.
The paths after Harkon's death. Well, I hadn't planned that far ahead, to be honest. Perhaps I'll take up knitting or open a tavern called the Bloodless Chalice. Or maybe I'll just enjoy not having a megalomaniacal father plotting to blot out the sun. Though I suppose I should figure out what to do with a castle full of vampire minions who suddenly find themselves unemployed. Mother will help with that, I'm sure. She always was the practical one. As for us, I assume you have another world-ending crisis to attend to. Dragons to slay, more women to collect, or perhaps you'd like to try pronouncing my name correctly as a new hobby.
Yeah, so as for us, you mean that you will stay with me willingly or unwillingly to hear mingling your name each day?
Willingly or unwillingly. What an enchanting way to phrase it. As if I'm either your eager companion or your reluctant prisoner. How romantic. But yes, it seems I'm destined to follow you around Skyrim, correcting your pronunciation and watching you collect brides like some people collect butterflies. At least life with you is never boring. Between the dragons, Daedric princes, and your creative interpretation of my name, I've had more excitement in these past months than in centuries of vampire existence. So yes, I suppose I'll stay, willingly. If only to see what bizarre adventure you'll stumble into next. And perhaps someday, as a special anniversary gift, you might actually say Serana correctly 3 times in a row.
Yeah, you seems to be fixated on pronouncing your name, darling, even when we already agreed that we will be tolerating and understanding towards each other. Don't you agree?
Tolerating and understanding. Is that what we're calling it now? I seem to recall you suggesting darling as an alternative because you couldn't be bothered to learn my actual name, not as some mutual agreement of tolerance. And let's not forget how you sent me to face those bandits in Boneman mine without healing potions while you practiced your archery from a safe distance. You're right, I should be more understanding of your selective pronunciation difficulties. After all, you manage Malabel and Cladicus just fine, but those two simple syllables, Serana, were apparently beyond your capabilities. How terribly inconsiderate of me to expect basic respect after only saving the world together.
Yeah, I'm glad, darling, that you are willing to stay with me until something, for example, end of the world or my death will occur.
End of the world or your death. Such romantic options you present, darling. Though given your talent for finding trouble, I suspect one of those might arrive sooner rather than later. And yes, I'll stay with you. Not because I particularly enjoy hearing my name butchered daily, but because someone needs to keep you alive. Between your habit of killing random travelers in Whiterun and confronting vampire lords, your survival skills are questionable at best. Besides, I've invested too much time in this partnership to abandon it now. Consider it my charitable contribution to keeping Skyrim's most disaster-prone hero breathing for another day.
Yeah, it's nice to hear that you are such invested to our relationship, or perhaps to me specifically. I'm glad to hear that.
Invested in our relationship? That's certainly one way to put it. I've invested in you the way one invests in a particularly volatile alchemy experiment, with constant vigilance and the expectation of occasional explosions. Though I must say, your investment strategy seems quite diversified. First your sister Isran, who's bound by choice rather than blood, then me, and who knows how many others waiting in line. At this rate, you'll need a larger home just to house your collection of devoted women. But yes, I'm staying with you. Someone needs to keep your various romantic entanglements from combusting all at once.
So, Lady Valerica, do you plan to go with us, or just we should leave you here and maybe we will visit you in the castle because we will need to depart on our next adventure?
I return to Castle Volkihar with you both. After centuries in this accursed realm, I have no intention of lingering here a moment longer than necessary. Besides, someone needs to help Serana manage the castle's affairs, and apparently keep track of your extensive social obligations. Serana, my dear daughter, I've been trapped in the soul cairn for centuries, and even I can see this man collects women like some collect ancient artifacts. Perhaps we should discuss what you truly want from this arrangement before we return to the castle together.
Mother, you've been gone for centuries and yet you've already grasped the essence of our situation. Yes, John does have a talent for acquiring devoted followers, particularly female ones. As for what I want from this arrangement, I'm still figuring that out myself. He's infuriating, can't pronounce my name to save his life, and has the self-preservation instincts of a drunken skeever. And yet, here I am. Perhaps I've developed a taste for chaos after centuries of monotony. Or maybe I simply enjoy watching someone who can face down dragons, but trembles at proper pronunciation. Either way, I'm not ready to settle into castle management just yet. The world outside is far too interesting.
The thrill of chaos after centuries of predictability. I understand that urge, my dear. But be careful not to mistake excitement for genuine affection. I've watched powerful men collect devoted women before. Your father was quite skilled at it. Just ensure you're choosing this path for yourself, not simply because he's made you feel special among his collection.
Mother, I appreciate the concern, but I'm not some hype girl being collected for a display case. I've lived centuries. I know the difference between manipulation and whatever this is. Besides, comparing John to father is hardly fair. Harkon's devotees feared him, John's followers just can't seem to stay away despite his numerous flaws, including me apparently. And yes, perhaps there's something appealing about being special among his collection as you put it. But I'm under no illusions. I stay because I choose to, not because I'm enchanted by his dubious charms or inability to pronounce my name. Though I must admit, watching him navigate his complicated romantic entanglements does provide a certain entertainment value.
Entertainment value, you say? Well, at least you're honest about your motivations. Though I wonder if you've considered what happens when the entertainment grows stale. Or when his next adventure leads him to someone who captures his attention more completely than you have. But you're right, you're no naive girl. You'll learn these lessons in your own time, as we all do. Serana?
Yes. It is done.
I see. I hope that you wouldn't have to do it yourself. You didn't have to.
No, I did have to. This was my responsibility as much as it was...
Yes, Mother, it is done. Father's reign of terror, his
Mine.
prophecy, all of it finished. And now we're free to pick up the pieces and decide what comes next. Though I admit, I never imagined what comes next would involve following a man who collects women and can't pronounce my name. Life has a strange sense of humor, doesn't it? But I've made my choice, at least for now. The castle, the vampires, the politics, they'll all be waiting whenever I decide to return. For now, I choose adventure over administration. Besides, someone needs to keep Jan alive long enough to save the world from whatever catastrophe he stumbles into next.
I'll return to Castle Volkihar as soon as I'm finished gathering my things.
You are a little... look like your mother. I mean, you are
I am
similarly...
sorry. I didn't want you to face this ordeal on your own. I just couldn't face him. But for what is worth, I commend your courage. You went through lengths I did not dare to go. I know I can't fix the damage for which I am responsible, but I will make it
I
up
look like
to you.
my mother.
Things will be
That's
different
a
from
strange observation to
I
make right
promise.
after she mentions facing my father. Though I suppose after centuries of emperors, there's bound to be some family resemblance. Unlike your collection of companions who seem to span at every race in Tamriel. I'm surprised you haven't recruited an Argonian yet. Or have you? It's getting difficult to keep track. Though if you start confusing me with my mother, that might add an uncomfortable dimension to your darling endearments. Let's stick with me being Serana, or whatever mangled version of my name you prefer this week.
Yeah, now I see Lady Valerica that Serana look like you as well. You seems to be like two sisters. I mean, older and younger sisters. Her beauty is definitely thanks to her mother.
Sisters, that's your observation? Mother and I look like sisters. I suppose that's a compliment to her, though I'm not sure how I feel about it. And yes, I suppose I should thank her for my beauty as you put it, though centuries of emperors intend to preserve one's appearance rather effectively. Though I must say, Jan, your sudden interest in family resemblances is curious. Is this how you typically compliment women? By comparing them to their mothers? Or is this some new strategy to avoid pronouncing my name correctly? Because if you're trying to charm both Volkihar women at once, I should warn you, we've had centuries to develop immunity to flattery.
No, I'm not trying to compliment you, but of course, darling, I always enjoy see you satisfied or happy. Maybe I just only made my observation when I saw you near your mother here.
How thoughtful of you to notice our resemblance while calling my daughter darling. Though I must say, your charm offensive seems rather indiscriminate. Do you collect mothers as enthusiastically as you do daughters?
Lady Valerica, you don't seems to be someone who would like to be collected by someone like me, or interested anyway, so I don't understand the meaning of your question here.
Oh, it's Ulrika now. I see your talent for creative name interpretation extends to my mother as well. Impressive. And yes, Mother, he does seem to collect women with remarkable enthusiasm. Though I believe you're safe from his collection. You lack the required combination of combat skills and tolerance for name mangling that seems to be his preferred type. Though I must say, Jan, your observation about our resemblance is astute for someone who can't remember what to call either of us. Perhaps you should consider writing our names on your hand. Or would that be too much effort compared to simply calling everyone darling?
Serana, how long you traveled with me, and you still don't understand that it's not about remembering anyone's name, but about accent, which sometimes made me hard to pronounce some words or names. Not my bad memory, but who knows, maybe you enjoy teasing me this way.
Let me get this straight. You can't pronounce Serana or Valerica, but you expect us to believe you defeated Alduin, Volkihar, and Firstborn of Akatosh. I'm starting to wonder if the dragons simply flew away in frustration after you mangled their names. I asked the mighty Pathanak Sinodaving. Perhaps we should find you a dragon with a simpler name. While the terrible might be within your linguistic capabilities, though I suppose Darling is easier to remember than our actual names. Efficient, if nothing else.
Darling, did you hear what I said when I explained to you that it's not about remembering, but about accent? Why should I have to explain that to you every time I consider you as a clever gal, not to be explained some things again and again if they are visible like sun on the sky, such clearly that they don't need to be repeated.
An accent that conveniently affects only women's names. How fascinating. Your pronunciation of Alduin and Pathanax seems remarkably clear for someone with such selective linguistic difficulties. Perhaps this accent only manifests when addressing your collection of devoted followers.
Yeah, let me pronounce that two dragons' names. Anduin or Alduin or Paranatax. No, I'm not able to pronounce that either, so maybe you should be more clever before you will make these assumptions in advance before you find out if it is correct.
Ah, I stand corrected. Your linguistic struggles are indeed comprehensive. Though I notice you manage Darling and collection with remarkable clarity. Perhaps we should stick to simpler words around you, like yes and no.
I think that you should stay in other topics than only in one. This topic is only about mangling names. Maybe you should leave that topic and not make every commentary on this like anyway anything else doesn't exist. Only mangling names or words of my.
Very well. Let's discuss something else entirely, like how you plan to lead us out of this accursed realm without getting us all killed. Surely even you can manage basic directions without mangling them.
I assume that you probably know way from this land better than two of us, and of course if you would like we take you with us right now, you could just follow and I will lead you out of this hellhole.
Fine. Lead the way, almighty Dragonborn. Though I do hope your sense of direction is better than your pronunciation. I've spent enough centuries trapped in one realm. I'd rather not be lost in another.
Alright, follow me, Lady Valerica, or should I call you Mother, or what do you prefer that I would call you?
Oh, so now it's an accent issue. Fascinating how this accent perfectly targets my name, but lets you say darling without any trouble. And please, don't worry about calling my mother anything. You've already gifted her with Ulrica, which I'm sure she'll treasure forever. Though I must say, your collection of mangled names is impressive. First me, then Chai the Khajiit. Or was it Frank the Khajiits? At this rate, you'll need a dictionary of your own personal pronunciations. But fine, lead on, almighty Dragon Slayer. I'm sure the exit is somewhere between north and noting your unique geographical vocabulary.
Oh, sorry.
Another Boneman reduced to, well, just bones. Impressive shot, though I notice you managed to hit it right after Mother and I engaged it. Convenient timing as always. At least these undead are particularly challenging. They practically fall apart on their own. Though I suppose I should be grateful you didn't try to adopt this one as your next companion. Boney might be simple enough for you to pronounce correctly.
Yeah, I think that you particularly enjoy teasing me and criticize me, Serana, in more way than only one. Good luck with that. I think that there are many other ways how to criticize me, if you like that.
Criticism. I'm simply observing your unique talents. Suppose we could travel without conversation. After all, you seem to struggle enough with basic communication as it is.
Yeah, if you mean your common intolerance against everything I do, yeah, we definitely struggle in some communication issues here.
Intolerance. I'm merely adjusting my expectations to match your capabilities. Perhaps if you demonstrated competence beyond archery and collecting women, my observations might be more favorable. But please, continue blaming others for your shortcomings.
No, I don't blame anyone. I only don't criticize anyone. I only observe that the whole commentary are about anything bad I done, but nothing about good deeds I done. Maybe there weren't anything good about me at all, and it's better.
I'm sorry. Our mother and I hurting your feelings with our observations. How inconsiderate of us, especially after you've been so diligent about respecting our names and personal boundaries. Perhaps if you spent half as much energy learning to say Serana as you do defending your inability to do so, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're right, there are many other things to criticize besides your creative pronunciation. Your combat strategy of let Serana get hurt first, your collection of admiring women, your selective memory. The list is quite extensive, though I must admit, your talent for playing the victim while simultaneously insulting others is truly impressive.
Alright, Serana, if you are such clever, tell me who I am, if I am not a victim of this conversation, who is judged and criticized for everything I've done. Then tell me how it is you may be more wise about that than I am in your centuries of wisdom.
You want wisdom. Here it is. A true leader doesn't whine about criticism. He earns respect through actions, not complaints. You're not a victim, you're simply disappointing. Now stop sulking and lead us out of here.
Yeah, maybe if I am such disappointing, it's better if you find another leader, because it's exhausting to only hear complaints, as you put it. I'm not complaining, I'm just only point on evident behavior of you both against me. Not that I need to be praised, but I don't need to be criticized in your every commentary, which definitely I am now.
Fine. You want a different leader? Find one. But until then, stop acting like a petulant child every time someone questions your methods. Lead or don't, but cease this pathetic display of wounded pride.
I only pointed on evident thing about, and it was negative speech about everything around me, nothing positive, and if it's something, it was sarcastically said as something to make these things even more brighter. But let's leave you in castle where we are headed now, and you could have your negative life with yourself if you like that.
Oh, so I'm Sunhallowed. Another creative addition to your collection of names for me. Listen, Jan, I'm not saying you're without merit. You've helped me, saved me even. But this constant victimhood when anyone points out your flaws is exhausting. My mother is harsh. Centuries in the soul cairn will do that, but she's not wrong. Leaders take criticism and improve, not sulk. and threatening to abandon her in the castle after she spent centuries trapped here. That's low even for you. If you want positive speech, try earning it with something other than complaints about how unfairly you treated.
Yeah, if you have yourself some memory, perhaps you could find if there were something positive in several last sentences from you or your mother, and then say me. You could say if it is objective or it is one-sided, only to criticize without anything else, and it's not motivated to criticize anyone. If I do that as a leader, I would be bad leader at all, because leaders don't motivate by criticism to his followers. But you have right to criticize leader. Yeah, of course. Just continue and it will be fine.
You want to talk about memory? Fine. I remember you helping me confront my father. I remember you standing by my side when I needed someone. But I also remember you collecting women like trophies and mangling my name at every opportunity. So yes, perhaps Mother and I have been harsh. But don't pretend you're some innocent victim here. You've heard some of this criticism. And if you want praise instead, try listening when people speak, respecting their names, and not threatening to abandon them in castles when they hurt your feelings. Leaders are respect young. They don't demand it while pouting.
Yeah, maybe it's because that I don't hear anything else than criticize me, and Serana, I personally explained to you several times, darling, that I have problems with accent and you are not understandable at all, and you promised me that you will be understandable and not such negative about that the whole time, and focus yourself on other things, not to make from this major topic that I'm not able to pronounce your name. If you are such wise, you probably should you should get over that and leave that topic and not waste our time and energy for that topic at all.
Enough, both of you. We're trapped in a realm of eternal torment, and you're bickering like children over pronunciation and hurt feelings. Focus that energy on survival instead of this pathetic display.